Right. So now let me talk about set design, boy. My God, Two-Face's layer tread. Like watching it again, and just seeing it as a slow zoom out as I established the
Chef's
shot.
kiss.
It is like, OMG. That is some great set design. Because, like, for one thing, you're seeing the light side, right? You're seeing how, the white and how,
Drew Barrymore.
yeah, Drew Barrymore, who
Drew
I forgot what's
Barrymore.
his movie, fine as hell in that film. Yeah, on the light side, on the dark side, we have Debbie Meeser. I was forgetting the name, and it's just from just from a set design perspective, the contrast between the two halves now. And of course, Two-Face, okay, he has Drew Barrymore, who plays Sugar actually. Yeah,
Sugar and Spice,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, Sugar and Spice.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, I have this Tata and all this stuff, right? And Spice has Ball and all that kind of stuff. It's just seeing how he's playing both
I think
sides
it's
now.
raw donkey meat, she tells him. It's
Yes,
Oh,
raw donkey.
yeah. But
And
but
a boar's heart.
yeah, a boar's heart or something like that. But yeah,
You
but
know.
just from a set design perspective, yeah, boy, that was brilliant. Way better than one sec, be way better, mind you, than oh gosh, Mr. Freeze's ice lair and what I mean, the icicles and the frozen dinners and the TVs with the Christmas cartoons and
yeah.
come on,
I
sing! It's like
do love
horrible.
it. It's my favorite set piece in the entire movie. Second, maybe to the opening shot of this when Chase and Batman are on the roof and he jumps off and you
Yeah.
get that shot of Gotham with the street view. It's very reminiscent for me of like the cartoon, the animated cartoon.
Right.
But I have a love-hate relationship with the set pieces in this movie because that's the whole thing is the entire movie looks like a set. I never feel like I'm in an actual city at any point in time. But
I got you.
at the same time, I do appreciate that the set pieces remind me of comic book panels, like I'm looking through a comic book. So,
Yeah.
Right.
I appreciate the art style, I should say, more than anything else.
Right. Yeah. CC, we're gonna say something about the set for this.
Okay, so first of all, yeah, agree with everyone. Like the design of it is like the design of this thing is brilliant. But I watched this particular reveal twice because the way it's shot is genius. Like we start decently close with Two-Face and Sugar and Spice, and then we like as Sugar and Spice move. We
Yes.
pan like
Yeah.
backwards. We got that very like we follow their movement as we pan back to reveal more of this layer until we end on this beautiful, almost not really symmetrical, like not like Wes Anderson symmetrical wide shot, but definitely the shot that gives you this entire sense of this split layer. And like it's wild because if you think when you look at the beginning of that shot, you don't get a sense of just how big and crazy the layer is at first. Like you
Yeah.
don't get quite when it's closer, but by the time it's over, like it's this brilliant slow reveal, and it's one of my favorites in the movie. I watched again, rewatching it. I mean, even from like a filmmaking perspective, I watched
it's
that
fantastic though.
twice. I watched that twice because it's just absolutely hilarious, and I like the reveal of it is so brilliant, and I love it. So good.
Right. I also love in that white shot in particular where where we see Joker. I'm sorry, where we see Riddler for the in his first costume, right? And I actually like out of all the costumes, I actually dig that one. It feels more like the original one. I actually dug the little pimp cane that he has too.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
God.
And the back and forth between Two-Face and Riddler. I actually kind of love though because it's because it's
so good.
Riddler just explain he starts with complimenting Two-Face. He's like,
I simply love what you've done with this place. Heavy metal meets house and garden. Beautiful. It's so dark and gothic and disgustingly decadent. Yet so bright and chipper and conservative. It's so you, and yet so you.
and then he's talking about like, and Two-Face is like, this man just snuck into my lair. I have a gun in my hand. I want to put a bullet in this man's brain, but he just keeps talking. And, Riddler is all like, okay, I know this guy have a gun, but let me just try to charm him and, talk a little common sense, like, yo, this is what I want to do. And, what I mean? I want to solve the greatest riddle of all. Who is Batman? You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just that back and forth that I love, though. And, you could just tell that, yes, even though behind the scenes they may not like each other, but you could tell like on screen though, yeah, both Tommy Lee and Jim were just having a blast though with that scene alone.
Well, going off that, I actually think that the Joker, the Riddler Two-Face dynamic in this movie, I think actually benefits from the fact that they disliked each other behind the scenes. Because it gives their scenes a real animosity and the sense that like you really do get this sense that Two-Face just wants to put a bullet in this guy. Like you get the whole setup the entire time. And like they're both like, and there's this sense that like as far as playing it over the top, they're both kind of having a contest to see who can beat the other at playing it over the top. Like I feel like both Riddler and Two-Face are at their most over the top when they're in their scenes together, and I feel like it benefits from that antagonistic energy. It's kind of like Excalibur, where the actor and actress who play Morgan Le Fay and Merlin hated each other, and it gives them a real combative, confrontational energy in all of their scenes. And it's I don't know if Schumacher did that on purpose, or if it was just a happy accident, but it works as far as giving their dynamic this very confrontational energy.
But as Sissy mentioned, I mean, why have two over-the-top villains in the same movie? We have
because it's a studio, you know what I mean? We've had one crazy bad guy with the first movie. We had two kind of psychotic characters with Batman Returns, but one of them was a little bit more theatrical. That would be, the Penguin. So let's, for the nature of the film, have two crazy, kooky villains try to one up each other. Yeah, I know it's a bad call, but that's the point I get at.
Yeah, for me, it would have been more interesting. We could left kooky Jim Carrey and say, well, okay, let's have Two-Face be the straight man,
Yeah, agreed.
And getting on loud and, flinging his arms all over the place, It's like it was just, too much of the over the top.
You also have huge plot holes here where the Riddler somehow, I don't know when he did it, but he had those cones set up in Two-Face's lair. It's because he came in with just the cane, he didn't have anything in his hands. And then he shows us when he hooks up sugar and spice to the box or the cone. It's like, where did you pull those from? When did you get here,
That's a good point, actually. And of course, the whole, okay, so Sugar's seeing Tweety and Spice is seeing Sylvester's like, ha ha ha, okay, Warner, I see what y'all did here, Warner. I see y'all.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Riddler's plan is brilliant, Jed. And I mean this in the most ironic way, right? So he needs Two-Face to steal production capital, his words, so he can put a box on every TV. So he will feed off their brainwaves and you become the smartest man in Gotham. Round of applause. That is brilliant.
Where to even begin with that plan?
That is the best scheme ever.
But I'm wondering, I mean, him feeding off people's brainwaves, didn't they have like, I don't know, less neurons or something? We never do see a side effect where a news report, Gothamites getting stupider.
That's true.
But I do like how it leads to the next scene where, Two-Face makes that coin flip, right? And I love once again that loud, audacious music, right? And then it just cuts to them doing this this jury, heist scene basically, right? Which I just love how you could tell just having fun, just doing all this nefarious stuff, right? What I hate though in retrospect is how it just suddenly cuts to friggin' Dick and Alfred in the laundry room, and then Dick does
not just that.
laundry kung fu, and like even like
that Riddler and Two-Face were robbing places, and there was Batman was nowhere to be found. It's like,
that
what
is
was
true.
he doing during that period of time?
Yeah, where was Batman? That's a good point. But yeah, boy, they just suddenly cut, because I always remember it as some kind of montage of them just doing all these crimes, right? but the scene just stops all of a sudden to show Dick doing some laundry kung fu thing to
Oh
dry his
God.
clothes.
Laundry.
And looking at it now, it looks
I don't,
cleaner
I don't,
with
I
clothes
don't
lifted.
understand. I don't understand the point of the scene because it was supposed to be funny. Was it supposed to be funny?
No, I don't
Like-
think so because the music has this kind of grungy, badassery kind of thing. That so it's supposed to be
Right.
like, oh my god, wow, it'll be that kind of vibe.
Right.
But
I
it's
didn't-
but even
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
90s perspective, it's garbage. It's horrible.
Here's what I feel happened. Here's what I feel happened. Much like how Chris O'Donnell wanted to drive the Batmobile, Chris O'Donnell made a request to say, hey, I can do this thing with clothes, That's what happened. And the director's like, all right, well, good stuff. And then it's like, all right, good fill up some time. That's it. That's what happened.
Yeah, like
Well, I feel like in the-
okay, is this what 90s filmmakers are about to just have characters do? Oh my god, let's do this cool kung fu stuff and have the audience go, wow, like it's just dumb, it's dumb.
It's not only that, but there's never any explanation as to where Robin gets his training from. It's like, okay, so we know he's an acrobat. That doesn't mean he's a fighter. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, but it's all to justify that. Oh, okay, yes, he could fight when the time comes, but all right, but that's how you show it with laundry.
Well, he's an acrobat and he drives motorcycles. Clearly, that gives him kung fu powers. Clearly.
Yeah, I guess so.
I find Jim Carter more believable than that nonsense.
Oh
Jim
God.
One of the greatest
Best
bad
movie
movies of all time.
Ever.
Yeah. Right. So then we get back to the montage. You know, Two-Face and Riddler having a blast. We get a moment which, once again, our marketed was promoting the hell out of. Right. This is where you do the whole. This is how you Two-Face, show me how to punch a guy. Right. That scene. Right.
Hey, Two-Face, show me how to punch a guy.
It's dirt simple, my boy. Ball up the fist, reach way back, and assert yourself.
That looks like fun. Let me try.
Ball up the fist,
Ball up the fist.
reach way back,
Reach way back.
assert yourself.
Ow!
If you all notice, right, Two-Face punched the first person. The second security guard, right, is it really like stand up there waiting to get punched though?
Waiting to get
I
punched.
see
Yeah.
him
That
tilt his
too.
head to the right. I'm like, dude, are you tied up? Are you handcuffed? Why you just stand up there just waiting for Riddler to punch him?
I guess Gotham
It's weird.
citizens just become numb to the madness after a while. Just like,
Rob-
Oh,
this is just
God.
my Tuesday.
Just
You know,
rob me, mug me, punch me. I don't care.
You know, yeah,
Do
this
what you
is
wanna
just
do.
Tuesday. You know, he's probably standing there like, well, it could have been worse. It could have been Joker.
Yeah. This scene though, just want to mention quickly, right? This scene in retrospect is so dumb, right? Yes, I know we mentioned dumb stuff, right? But it is what it is. And it's the news report where this lady talk about calling Riddler a green suited menace, right? And then the other guy, the other news anchor, talking about, oh, you know, now the Gothamites are calling him the Riddler. But bruh, the Riddler called himself the Riddler,
Yeah.
Exactly.
not
Mhm.
Gothamites. So Gothamites are now calling him the
I
Riddler,
mean,
but
can
he
we
was
talk
calling
about
himself the
how
Riddler,
bored
bro.
that news reporter seems? That guy shows no emotion whatsoever.
You're right. Bruce gets another riddle. This is the eight of us go back. Sorry, the eight of us go forth, not back, to protect our king from a foe's attack. I'm still not a big chess person, but I already knew it was chess. It's like, hey, chess pawns. Ah, okay, cool, right? And then we get one of the in terms of like just time skipping montages. So this is where Edward Nigma suddenly becomes this big owner, big CEO of Nigma Tech. So he has his own company now, right? And he's talking about, I'm gonna make these boxes, I'm gonna put in, you know what I mean, in every household in Gotham and all that kind of stuff, right? And everybody has it, you know what I mean? The brainwaves being sucked out. And then we have this island scene. And when I was watching this in retrospect, though, it has such a, well, I don't want to say he's drawing inspiration from Tim Burton, but I was more thinking about like Tim Burton's still excellent film Edward, right? Which is these 50s sci-fi, schlocky sci-fi films. And something about that shot of like the island with the big gigantic mother box. We call it the mother box, right?
Right.
For argument's sake, we call it the mother box, right? Something about that has this 50s sci-fi vibe to it, and then of course with the music that he used, the
Well, no,
right.
I mean,
Something's 50s
I
about
would
that
agree.
moment.
Absolutely. It's complete. It is completely like I think part of it's drawing inspiration from 60s Batman. And like you said earlier, 60s Batman was always because like you were saying, oh, this is the first sci-fi of these original Batman films. And the 60s Batman was always more into sci-fi because it's the 60s. There's this whole retro futuristic thing going on where you see like even if you go back to James Bond, like the
Yes.
James Bond films of the 60s look like the Adam West Batman. And so because Schumacher is pulling from that aesthetic, he accidentally or intentionally, I'm not sure, he ends up giving the movie this retro futuristic 60s vibe when it's not going full gothic camp half naked statues holding up buildings. Like it's either it goes from like giant Grecian statues to kind of these to like shots like, you know, the mysterious island with like all that green and like the weird woo music, and it's like it just it's like five different aesthetics going on.
Yeah, and of course that last shot with with Edward having just feeding off of the brainwaves. I kind of dig that scene, especially with Jim Carrey just kind of crazy and face antics. That that something about that just works for me. Like it just kind of shows Nigma at the height of his insanity, basically, right? I really love that. It's kind of weird, though, that the throne that we'll see later on is covered in the scene. So, I don't know, like they were still making the throne. I don't know, but yeah.
But as we're talking about the giant mother box, as we're calling it, as you said, you really have to rely on the internal logic of this movie, because how does nobody in Gotham notice this big giant thing?
Yeah,
Brightly
with
lit
flashing
thing?
lights, though.
Yes.
Flashing
You know,
lights.
I mean, I know Commissioner Gordon is completely ineffectual and incompetent.
Yes.
I know the police do nothing in Gotham at all, but
Nope.
nobody noticed this. Nobody say, "Hey, what the hell is that?" It's just like, yeah, whatever. It's Gotham. Moving right along.
Yeah. Right, so just move a little quickly here, right? So, Dick being a dick, right, ends up sneaking into, he notices this locked door and he wants to know what's there. And it's like, oh, it's Bruce's dead wives. Ha ha ha, get it, right? And then, of course, him being a dick, he just kind of swoops in and does some acrobatic shit and finds his way kind of not tripping,
Can
just
we
while
discuss
sliding
just quick?
into the
Can we
Batcave.
discuss very quickly how much easier it would have been just to run towards the door? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that
yeah.
has to be the slowest door in the history of doors.
Yeah, because he's doing all this stuff in like about 10, 15 seconds. Because he jumps from, from the top of the stairs onto the chandelier and flipping and all that kind of stuff. And it's like over like what, 10 seconds or 10, 50 seconds basically.
It has to be. It has to be. And
Yeah.
not to mention the fact that the security and Wayne manager sucks for this entire
Intruder
movie.
alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. I will say though, it is much better than what we hear in Batman and Robin with oh my god, with Alfred's consciousness as a Max Headroom like character. Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Oh,
Intruder
hate
alert,
that.
but everything still comes on and activates, and the car comes up, and like, where is your defense system? What exactly is happening here?
It's
Yeah,
so helpful for the intruder.
yeah.
It's basically a car alarm. If everybody ignores it, the car still gets stolen. It's like nothing. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and Batman didn't even get like, I know, a beep or something like, hey,
Thank
there's something in the
you.
Batcave.
Oh no, no,
Nothing.
no. Yeah,
Nothing.
but speaking of beep, right? So while all this is going on now, Bruce is still with Chase, and I actually do like the moment where Chase kind of reveals the reason why she's so obsessed with Batman. It's the idea. Well, just read it off here. Why does he do what he does? What crime could he have committed to deserve a life of nightly torture? It's like okay, so there's a reason why she's interested in him. It does explain the sexual obsession, but okay, I
Well, she
kind of
does
get that.
say she's always had a thing for broken men. She does
Yeah,
say
bad
something along
boys.
those lines, you know?
Yeah, and
And
it,
that's weird because like always had a thing for broken men, so I'm gonna get a profession where I can meet all of them.
Yeah, because why
Makes
not, right?
sense.
Makes sense.
It
Um,
makes sense, but oh my god.
Again, this is not somebody who would hold on to their medical license for very long.
No,
Oh
no.
yeah,
god.
clearly,
The
clearly.
scandal.
Yeah. So, taking a cue from Dick Tracy, Bruce has one of those, like, we'll call it a camera watch for the sake of the show. So basically, Alfred tells him, sorry, that well, this is right after Bruce gets his first kiss from Chase, right? Because they all kind of lead into Val and Nicole kissing, so they kind of do that, right? So you talk about, well,
I'm sorry to bother you, sir. I have some rather distressing news about Master Dick.
What, is he all right?
I'm afraid Master Dick has gone traveling.
He ran away?
Actually, he took the car.
He boosted the Jag?
Not the Jaguar. The other car.
The Bentley?
No, sir. The other car.
and I always thought that was like a great piece of dialogue. The other guy.
No, sir. The other car. Alfred, I'm the world's greatest detective, but I'm blanking right now.
Yeah, because I just got kissed, and it's like
I always
Once
feel
again,
like
Batman.
in rewatching it, I'm like, doesn't that watch kind of make it a little more obvious who you are? Because it's like,
Yeah.
why not just have a normal phone or something like that? I'm like,
Yeah.
what is with the gadgets? Everybody associates these fancy gadgets with Batman. It's like, come on.
And take notice that Chase is in the same room with him. She
Yes.
is watching him, talking to his camera watch. And she
She's
says
hearing
nothing.
the entire conversation, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my
But
god.
then again, Chase is kind of dumb as well too. Never noticed him.
Everybody in this is dumb.
He's running
Everybody,
off,
because we
doesn't
we
ask
get
questions.
led into the next dumb scene of how come nobody figures out who Bruce Wayne is at this point, with Dick stealing the car and
Yeah. And
actively
sorry.
showing people who he is inside of said car. It's like, isn't that the guy that Bruce Wayne just adopted?
Yeah.
Oh wait, Bruce Wayne is Batman.
I know, boy. Like
so much
it's a
stupid.
riddle. It's a riddle in itself, Trey. Like why these characters don't figure out who Batman is, right?
Because Riddler sucked up all their brains. He solved it.
Think about it.
Solved the riddle.
Think about it. It's the box's fault. It's the mother box, right?
Did it?
Right. I actually like this scene because it's because this actually say what I want about all the Alfreds. This Alfred is pretty good, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Overall.
yeah.
So one of my favorite Alfreds actually. So the whole other car moment, I actually like the scene because, well, two quick question. Does anyone else have like a video conference watching Gotham? I didn't get the sense that anyone else had it. So
Yeah,
was it?
no, well, nobody does in the film, so that's the thing. Like, I
No,
thought you
so
would have put
here's the thing.
two and two together. now.
No, here's the thing. If Chase, because we know cell phones exist at this point in the universe, right? So rich dudes could have cell phones because we hear Two-Face say cellular telephones when he was robbing them, right? Remember, we hear that, right?
Yeah.
So we accept that they have that, but the thing is, talking watches a whole level of rich guy, or is it that, wait, talking watches are impossible, he must be the Batman? I didn't really get that. I just got the sense that, oh, he has a talking watch, he's a rich asshole, right? Because he's Bruce Wayne, right? Rich
Right.
douchebag. So the scene just works in the sense of just saying the other car. That's why I got the sense of that. I actually like the conversation. I had fun with it. This was the scene before where they were in the office, and what were they talking about exactly? I forgot.
Well, this was where Bruce was not started to reveal the dreams he's having, the
Right,
memories, the
right.
repressed memories of his parents' death and all that stuff.
Right. Okay. So it,
Right.
it just had this kind of tonal whiplash moment. So for the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like the other car moment. This is a funny scene, but then the scene that follows is so stupid and so idiotic because it's a different Batmobile they use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to that now. So in the next scene, of course, we see Robin just driving through Gotham, showing off the Batmobile. And yes, admittedly, it is a different design. I'm not sure why they changed it. There. I like the moment where sorry.
Because like what we discussed earlier, because maybe Chris O'Donnell wrecked it.
Yeah, because Chris O'Donnell, right? Yeah. So I love the part when the hood opens up and you see the two women there, It's like, ooh, Batman. Oh no, it's more like Bad Boy.
That's En Vogue, actually. That's all four
Vogue!
members
Is
of En
it?
Vogue.
That's my
Wait, who
band.
is
I
it?
love it,
I
Vogue.
should have known that
Wait,
though, but
who is
Yes,
it?
that's all four
En
members of
Vogue,
I
En
missed
En
that.
Vogue.
Vogue.
Yes, what
No,
a
is he
lineup.
is he is he costume designer true move though? Um, by the way, yes. In case you all don't know, Coolio, being the great Coolio, actually made a brief appearance in Batman and Robin. It's one of those things you
Don't
forget
remind
until
us.
you see it.
Okay, I only found out I was just a couple of days old when I found out that Coolio was supposed to be Scarecrow in that scene.
What?
Which
Yes,
scene?
yes.
Good
I am,
Lord,
I
good
am, I
Lord,
am
no.
absolutely, I'm being very serious right now. He's supposed to be Scarecrow.
I'm done.
Uh,
I'm done. I'm done.
Look,
That's
I, I, I
Done.
respect him. I respect him as a rapper, though, but as an actor, no, no.
That blew my mind when I found that out. I was like, wait, what? In researching, I mean, watching the movie and researching stuff, I was like, I don't believe this. That equals Snyder's nonsense with Jimmy Olsen shooting Jimmy Olsen in the face and then telling us after the fact that was Jimmy Olsen. So
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right, so moving on, right? So we get actually a really, really cool scene though with this gang, and they go it up against Dick, right? Because what happens is that Dick notices these guys chasing down this girl, so he goes and fights them, and there's even one moment where the girl says, "Isn't the hero supposed to kiss the girl?" And then he does this quick kiss and goes, right? Now, costume design,
Again.
I actually like. Yes, it's very. It feels more like late 70s, like when that movie The Warriors, classic movie came out. So you had
Right.
those gang
Don't
members
diss the
with
Warriors,
flamboyant
please.
colors. I
Don't
love The
compare these
Warriors.
idiots to the Warriors.
Look, I'm
It's the,
talking
the
about
Warriors,
how
Omar.
I'm talking about how colorful they look. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, well, just mentioned briefly in Batman and Robin, they make a reference to Clockwork Orange because some of the guys dressed like Droogs, what I mean, from that movie. So I was like, oh, okay, wanna see what y'all did there. But yeah, with this one, I actually kind of dug the glow, the dark face paint, and
Yeah, no, it does look it does
something
look
about
good.
that just looked really cool though. But
I
what else,
actually found
like
out the gang leader was Don the Dragon Wilson as well. So in makeup.
say what? Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Man,
I did not even know he was in
People
such.
lining up around the block to be in these films.
Yeah. But what I would say though, just about that gang in particular, um, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that late 70s Warriors, but it had that 80s punk vibe about it though. I
Yeah.
don't know, just something about that scene in particular, right? The film doesn't stop for the scene, right?
Is
But I always felt like this was Warner Brothers saying, yeah, we're not gonna be dark and gothic like Batman Returns, but we're gonna be kind of edgy, Dread. And this is we edgy moment. We're gonna
this is
have
the
these
edgiest
really
we're gonna get, people.
grimy looking, face paint gang members, what I mean, with these glow in the dark,
Lightsabers.
both, I know, right? They look like lightsabers, bow staffs and all that. Like this was the filmmakers really trying to make this thing edgy as hell, Dread. And I don't know, it's still a scene that still stands out to me in my opinion, just because of the look of it. Of course, Dick is overpowered by the gang members. Of course, Batman has to swoop in. He does the same graceful swoop down and saves Dick. Y'all have any thoughts on that fight scene? Is it fine for you guys or not?
Again, some of the best. One of the shining moments of this movie, and to a certain extent, Batman and Robin as well. The aesthetic. I actually like this nighttime look. Everything glow in the dark. It's clearly the '90s because Nickelodeon, and it. Yeah, I had fun with the scene in itself, but I did well because the scene is stupid on its own by itself. But then the end of the scene is quite good because you have these dumb jokes where the prostitutes telling him you're Bat Boy and all them laughing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But then at the end, I like how they did the whole. Well, the reason he did it is to kind of effectively get Bruce Wayne's attention, and then kind of to vent at him after, and that kind of works at top point. I mean, it's still Chris O'Donnell's acting, so you can't fix that, but it works.
Is it the same gang that shows up in Batman and Robin, like except
Yeah, and
they've got that
they
whole
get pretty
black
much
light
kicked.
thing going on?
Well, what happens is that Poison Ivy and Bean pretty much come into their lair and kick them out. I think he like Bean throws one or punches one, and then everybody runs. And I was like, waste of time. Why have them there in the big? They don't even fight Bane. One person get hit and it's just like, oh, let's get out of here. Oh, that's it. Hated that.
I think it, honestly speaking, when looking at the two films, Batman Forever has better action than Batman and Robin.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Like, easily.
That's the reason why I like this show so much. Like, say what you want about the story, but yeah, it have some solid action scenes, right? That's why I keep zeroing in on them so much, right? But
Right.
let's get back to Batman and Dick, right? We have this great dramatic moments where he's talking about, Dick talk about seeking revenge. I love where Bruce, pretty much talk about how pointless revenge is, where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, when you do exactly revenge, then what? You're going to go for another and another until you
That's
wake up
my
and realize you
favorite
spent your
Bruce
whole
Wayne
life
scene.
pretty much being the person that you're not, pretty much being the person you hate now. I love that. I just paraphrase here,
Yeah,
but I love
that's
that moment.
to me that's the strongest in terms of the acting and the story. Sorry, why is the Bruce Wayne part of it? That's like the best scene that they have.
Yeah,
It really is a strong moment, and I wish all the writing in the movie was that good.
yeah, and you really do feel the dramatic tension in that moment though between Val and Chris O'Donnell, right?
Yeah.
The next scene is just moving quickly here. Next scene here is where Edward Nigma has his gala because once again, passage of time. How many weeks? How many days? So now he have the box 2. So it's kind of like he had the PlayStation, and then like 1 week later, sorry, you have the PS2.
Well,
You know
his,
what I mean?
his
I'm like,
box is more like the Amazon Echo, so that's like his his newest version.
yeah, but
It
like,
is stealing information, so you know.
yeah, but like, how much time between both versions? I don't even know, right? I do love the fact that Alfred pretty much chauffeured Dick to the gala because Bruce is like, no, I don't want a partner. I don't want you to help me, blah blah blah, right? But I like that Alfred, being the MVP, she's like, you know what? Just in case Bruce get in trouble, we have Dick with him because he show off his kung fu skills earlier, right? Right.
Alfred was so impressed by his laundry room kung fu.
Yes, he was. He was. So the new box offers fully interactive holographic fantasies. So it's not like,
It's like
streaming
Total
TV shows
Recall.
anymore. Exactly. Yeah, just like Total Recall. I'll tell you, it's the whole sci-fi aspect about it, right? Of course, Bruce being Bruce investigates. I love the fact that Drew Barrymore was there, and she has this little device thing. I'll call it a USB flash drive for now, which he plugs in, and then it's pretty much taking all of Bruce's fantasies and whatnot. But in retrospect, it's like, but what I mean, it's not like he told the computer his innermost secrets and thoughts, but what the machine just automatically draws it out of him. The show never really explains the logic behind it, but it's like whatever. It's because eventually they end up getting all the stuff they need to know. Well, so far on Bruce Wayne, right? Because right as it was about to extract information, Two Face and his goons show up. Once again, every time there's a gala, every time Gotham's elite is there, expect expect Two Face to
Can
show
I
up.
quickly say though that this is my favorite Riddler scene in the entire movie? Um,
Nice.
because for me, this scene is the most Edward Nigma that I get in the entire movie. It shows his narcissism. It shows his intelligence. It really, for me, it's a version of Riddler that I get in the cartoon, and it's least like a Joker-esque type Riddler because Jim Carrey's he's out of costume here, so to speak. So he's trying to be his version of Bruce Wayne. You know,
Mhm.
that guy, he wants to show he's better than Bruce Wayne in every way. And I love when Two Face breaks in. He even tries to tell him, this is not the plan.
Yeah,
We're
yeah. Two
supposed
Face
to,
is like, I just fed up on waiting. I want to kill Batman.
yeah. So it's actually my favorite Riddler scene in the entire movie because it's the most like the Riddler that I get in this entire film. Everything else feels like a version of the Joker or a version of the 66 campy Riddler.
Right, right, right.
I love this whole sequence is pretty good on its own because it's Nigma. Well, Nigma would have gotten a lot more from Bruce Wayne if he stayed with the box because he tricked him. Because
Yeah,
it's Drew Barrymore, switch the she didn't switch anything, but she put in a new thing to set him up now, the power thing. So he wanted to get cancer, set him up. He set the strap. when you're dancing with Chase Meridian. As usual, I don't know if this is an offensive term, but yeah, Enigma is a complete spaz when dancing with
I
Chase.
know, right?
Yeah.
And
But
but the thing, I kind of like that about him, that he could be so full of himself that he don't mind looking like a goof on the dance floor.
Total goof. But so they bounce that around there. But the trap was set. He get the information about Batman in his head. I like that. And then the whole robbery happens because Two-Face is a dumbass and they didn't talk to each other for some reason. And he mentioned that. He's like, hey, why we don't plan this thing? And I was like, wow, Two-Face real ruined this movie. Anyway.
Batman's entrance in this scene is so freaking awesome. Say what you want about the rest of the movie. I love that entrance where he comes through with the yeah. He speaks for the audience. Your entrance is good. His was better. But him smashing through the window, him coming down gracefully, and I just love the flip that he does when the two goons fire at him. I just love that. But because the marketing, that was all over the marketing. But when you see it, like me seeing it again after all these years, I was like, I love this. I get chills every time I see that scene.
What was one really funny little moment in the scene? So when Batman breaks through the ceiling, and have this one dude standing on the Batman.
Like a little child does. Batman,
everybody's made orgasm in this movie.
I love that guy. For a hot minute, I thought it was the same security guard from the beginning there.
Yeah, me too.
I was like,
no, because he's like Mr. Obvious now. Oh yeah, no, it's ... Yeah.
Right. So I really swear it was the same guy, but I don't think it's the same guy as far as I know. And it just had me cracked up good. It does have me cracked up.
Of course, it'll be some cool fight scene going on. Of course, Two-Face's goons escape, but they have a little trap for him. Once again, the whole 60s Batman death trap stuff, right? And then we get another cool moment with Batman jumping off the building. Yes, I know it's mid-90s VFX. Some of it don't really look all that well, but I just love that shot, though. The camera kind of follows him down, and, I just love that shot, right? Also, that was part of the marketing, right? And then they have, like, this sort of makeshift shoot at the bottom by the subway area, and, Batman slides in, and then they trap him there. They, pretty much open up a canister, some flammable gas sprays out, and then Two-Face has a grenade launcher. He fires at the gas, it blows up and all that kind of stuff. And Batman has fireproof fireproof cape all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what? With this Batman, okay, it's very James Bond, but all right, I could let this slide.
Very, very Sean Connery James Bond in particular.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I really should mention this, right? Before Batman goes to chase Two-Face, right? She's just like, we just going off all of a sudden. And then, of course, before he leaves, she kisses Batman. It's like,
my place, midnight.
I'm like, wow, boy. So now Batman has motivation to get the job done because, he have a little booty call us. Oh my God, she's Meridian, yes. But yeah, so after the the flammable stuff, Two-Face, just being Two-Face.
Why can't you just die?
I love that. It's so 90s, but I love it.
Like, one of the things I do love about this Two-Face as far as performances go is that Tommy Lee Jones, no matter what role he's playing, is a sarcastic god. And he really leans into that for Two-Face. Like, he's already exasperated with Batman not dying in the opening of the movie. So by this point, and this is like over 2 hour long movie, by this point, when we're only kind of getting into the third act, he is so done. He's so done. He just wishes he was dead so long ago, and it gets more and more comical how frustrated he gets that Batman won't die. It almost becomes a running gag.
Yeah, it does, right? So Two-Face just being so pissed off now. He shoots at the platform where Batman's feet is. He falls, and we actually get like a really powerful scene though, where Dick comes and saves his life. Like, I just love the shot of his Batman's hand reaching out from all the rubble and Dick's hands coming in and lifting him up, and just the music that they play for this, though, like it's just like just probably one of the most powerful scenes in the film, and probably one of my favorite scenes in the film. I don't know if you guys agree on that, but I just really really love that shot. Right, so later Batman goes to meet Chase, and in retrospect, I actually kind of like where the character where Chase's character goes, where it's like, okay, he's here at last, he's right in front of me, and I mean he's looking at his lips and his chest and all that kind of stuff, but this is at the same time this is not what I wanted. I fell in love with somebody else, i.e. Bruce Wayne. So I'm sorry, right? So I kind of like the fact that she kind of grows up, so to speak, in this moment. But what really spoils that scene, because yes, admittedly, I think the scene is great, is Batman's really awkward ass smile that he does at the end. Yeah, something about that smile, like that was once again that was in the marketing as well. But when you see it in the film now, it's just like,
It's goofy.
why?
It kind of underlines that Val Kilmer was a decent Bruce Wayne, but he was not a good Batman. at
No, yep,
all.
yep.
He was
Yep.
not good, and the writing for him did not help him at all.
Look, I like Val Kilmer to death. I thought the Saint was cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
holy shit.
it was.
Holy shit. Have some, like, at times when he have like the weirdest, like, bad, you have some actors who have like shockingly bad camera presence sometimes. So
Right.
good looking, and then they'll just do one thing. I'll be like, please stop that. What are you doing? Please
Yeah.
stop. And that was one of those moments. It's like, why is smiling like that? Like, did he think
Put
that
it
was funny?
away.
Did the director what son say? What's good? What are you doing? I didn't understand that smile at all. I was like the weirdest smile. But crack me up.
Yeah.
It's again, sorry to say it, but Nicole Kidman and Val Kilmer had no chemistry in this movie. I am sorry, they had none.
No. It was Nicole's force
Right.
just overpowering. Val just be like,
So the problem is that they couldn't really do camp and romance at the same time. Because when I think of Nicole Kidman and romance, you think of something you take very seriously. She's smoldering, his eyes wide shut, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
with this kind of romance and the camp at the same time, it's not mixing at all, right? It's total oil and water. And this is one of them oil and water. You just see the oil bubbles like bubbling up and just messing up. when you pour water in the frying pan after that.
Yeah.
The only
Yes.
time
VHS.
we get Nicole Kidman and camp and romance, it's what's that one? The Baz Luhrmann musical.
Or Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Which I
Right.
wanted to like, but I don't know. I just don't like when musicals end on a sad note.
I was thinking Australia.
Oh yeah, that
Also
one that I
Baz
missed,
Luhrmann.
that I avoided because of Moulin Rouge.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking of that. But yeah, it's that energy.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So next scene basically is the Riddler and Two-Face. Of course, Two-Face is all like, he just all pissed off and sad because he couldn't kill Batman, right? And then Riddler's like, you know what, just calm down, Dredd, because look, I have Bruce Wayne's, we call it flash drive for now, right? He plugs it in and you get to see the image of the giant. Well, at first it looked like a normal bat, but then if you look at the deleted scenes, it's actually a giant bat. And there was this deleted scene involving Bruce Wayne's encountering this giant man bat thing.
That
Yes, I'm
scene.
glad it took out, but it
That
looks really
scene.
weird. Looks really weird.
Like, I watched it and I'm like, how is this scene simultaneously? Because I mean, I think it's even weirder without music. Because like, obviously they hadn't scored that scene when they cut it.
Yes. I remember.
You're watching it. You're just like watching this scene with like Val Kilmer as Bruce and like this giant bat, and it flies up and they interact with each other. And on the one hand, I'm thinking like three things. Like, I wish that I would not be opposed to the scene staying in the movie. 2, that's a pretty cool effect. 3, but at the same time, why is this so homoerotic? Like, why?
It's crazy though. I'm just really glad I ended up on the cutting room floor. But yeah, point is that the Riddler is like, who has bats on the brain, and then they just start cracking up. It's like, oh, we know who Batman is. All right. So the next scene basically is, in retrospect, is kind of weird, kind of odd that Bruce would suddenly just quit being Batman after like what happened the night before. So it's like, okay, you almost died, fine. You didn't want Dick to be like you, okay. And Chase pretty much chose Bruce over Batman. And this is why you want to give up being Batman?
Yeah, it's very weak. It's basically like, okay, so Batman he's willing to give up Batman for Chase Meridian after one kiss. They don't even go on that many dates, so it's not well established. I quickly believe he would give it up for Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Than he would for Chase Meridian.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, there's one of those weird edit calls, I thought, where because I think they had ideas for it, they shot it and it would have fit in the narrative, but then it couldn't fit as well as they wanted it to. So that's why it looked kind of jerky narratively. It's a jerking scene. It looked off, and that's what I suspect happened there. But yeah, it was a bizarre scene for me as well. Like, wait, what was this even set up before? Like, let us compare that to the Dark Knight. In the Dark Knight, they were setting it up, right?
Yeah.
He talk about in a restaurant with Harvey Dent. So they just building it up over time. Like, you get a sense you don't want to be Batman for a while. But in this, they don't really think that. They just had him think. They may have mentioned it in a couple conversations, but it was really not. They didn't lay that foundation enough for you to care about it as much as before. So that's why that scene was just kind of weird and had again the whiplash. Yeah, it was a kind of thematic whiplash for me. But that's what suspect happened with that. That's why when you see stuff like that, it's like, oh right, they shot it and then they know what to do with it in the edit, and they're not gonna do any extra shooting to fix that or go around. It's like, yeah, whatever, just do it and go forward.
Right. So it's funny though that on the same day, he just mentions that Chase is coming over for dinner, right? So of course, with the movie not really showing a lot of the scenes and whatnot. The next scene basically is in the night, and then we then learn is Halloween. So it's like, okay, well, all right, no mention of Halloween before, but it's Halloween.
Whatever. Now it's Halloween.
Yeah, but
so technically, if you want a good Halloween superhero movie, you could watch this or The Crow.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Crow is more day before, Devil's Night. But yeah, I mean, Crow is a great Halloween flick. Yeah. Right. But it does have a nice little setup, though, in terms of how Two-Face and Riddler enter Wayne Manor. Because I like how they did the whole trick-or-treat thing. I kind of feel sorry for Alfred, though, because, the man had great intentions, though, because just like a minute ago, some kids came and, he gave them treats there. It's like he opens up for them and he gets knocked out. And he comes in.
About this because how in the hell are children trick-or-treating at Wayne Manor? How are people walking up to the door and there's a gate?
Because it's Halloween. That's the only time of the year it's open.
No, but isn't Wayne Manor in the middle of nowhere? It's like, where are these children's parents? It's so stupid. It's just that entire thing. I'm like, I don't get it. There's no security around Wayne Manor. Two grown men walk up to the door.
Maybe Bruce is trusting in the two giant horses to protect Wayne Manor. Also, complete aside, but talking about the score and how much Jim Carrey is absolutely having a ball. I don't know whether this was done on purpose, but there's a great moment when Two-Face and Riddler arrive at Wayne Manor. And the score does this, and Carrey skips up to the gate, and he somehow syncs up perfectly with the
music
score.
as
and he skips like
it works though. It works. Yeah.
No, I love it. But I'm like, ow.
Yeah, I was confused if this was Two-Face's team or Riddler's team or both of their teams. Because
it better be Riddler's team because that would have been perfect. It better be Riddler's theme because that would be perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, as I said before, Riddler and Stepson uses his Pimkin, to knock out poor Alfred. And yeah, essentially the plan, Riddler's plan actually is to find the Batcave and just pretty much demolish everything in it, right? While Two-Face has to stay quiet basically and not kill Bruce, right? Because the plan is not to kill him, right? As as Riddler says, oh, he won't learn nothing, right? So yeah, there's this moment where, well, before this, right, there's actually a really cool moment actually where Bruce is talking about the flashback with him and his parents' death and the wake, and when he falls into the cave and sees it back for the first time. I like that he's just like open and honest and telling Chase about this, right? But before he says, Chase, I'm Batman, right? She kisses him. And it's only after the kiss that she realizes, oh my God, Bruce is Batman. But she doesn't really see it there. You just kind of see it in her face, like, okay,
I definitely and like
I like that. I like that.
I think Raimi did that slightly better in his Spider-Man trilogy, but I do love that particular bit. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Of course, this is interrupted, in true Batman style with, the arrival of, Two-Face's goons. You have a nice little chase scene / fight going on. With Two-Face just kind of sitting out there, flip this coin like, God, I can't even shoot him. Like, God, you know what I mean? And then, well, finally, the coin goes on tails. So it's like, okay, cool, now I can shoot at him. And Bruce clearly gets hit in the shoulder. And yet, when he falls down these steps, you see this little gash on his head. So now you're telling me that okay, he got shot in the head. The bullet grazes his head, but his reaction to his body reaction, like he didn't get shot in the shoulder. I don't know. Like I was the only one who noticed this apparently, but yeah, I was like, wait,
I
like
think
you
because
got
he
shot?
got hit to the side, it just kind of pushed him towards his side. The way he turns to me is like he got shot in the head, but I don't know.
Okay, I guess it's the body movement and that kind of threw him off, right? Speaking of, like as you said before, with just Jim Carrey just being this wild animal that they let loose.
Oh yeah.
The moment with him in the Batcave is just Jim Carrey just
he's having the time of his goddamn life, especially with like the
it is
baseball music plays.
Yeah, that it is just one quip after the next way. And most of them like really well written too.
Yes.
Yeah, he just goes in on the scene though. I was remember like when I was a kid, hear them say, "This is right where he blows up the Batmobile," where he says, "Joygasm." As a kid, I was like, "Joygasm? What are you talking about?" And then when you get older, it's like, "Oh, that's way good for okay." Once again, trying to be edgy. It's like, oh, okay.
Right? No,
Right.
It's hilarious how like this movie was meant to be more kid friendly than Batman Returns, and like on the surface, yeah, it has more bright colors, but it is so much more sexual.
Yeah. But it's such a Jim Carrey moment. It's such a Jim Carrey liner, that joygasm thing. But it's just
everybody
how
with
it flew
his
past
giant
kids' brain.
pieces, it's like, how is this for children?
Yeah. Right, so just running through the rest of the movie quickly, right? So Chase Meridian is kidnapped by Two-Face's goons. She's carried over to the the evil 50s sci-fi island thing, right, with the mother box, right? I actually love Riddler's smoking jacket here with the glue with the sort of glow in the dark question marks. I love what he says.
Full pimp. He is
like
full
my
pimp
jacket
at this point.
Yeah,
apparently, Jim Carrey had a hand in the design of all his costumes. So
of course he did. Of course he did.
Yes, I like what he says.
Like the jacket? It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night.
That was all over the back too. I just always love when you see that. Now, yes, they do paint Chase as he dabs a little distressed because right after that she says, "Batman will come for me." But I love Riddler's delivery. Batman?
Batman, you say? Coming for you? I'm counting on it.
That was the moment when Ron Howard, sitting somewhere else, was like the Grinch. That's the moment that I was rewatching this and I'm like, that was the moment he was cast as the Grinch, right there.
No, it is such a great self-aware moment because like, oh, you're gonna be the damsel in distress. Sorry, so let me just kind of poke fun at that for a moment, right? Hence the full British thing that he does here, right? Rilla does well. One of the cool moments in the film, really, of course, is Patty Mark, and then again, the question mark over over the bat signal. Like I always thought, like even in retrospect, it's like really cool though. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, I cannot own this shit now, bro. So come for me, right? And this is what Commissioner Gordon notices. Out of everything in the film, he notices the big question mark over the bat signal. I'm like, dude, what about the island? What about the lightning bolts and all that kind of stuff that was coming from there? But you notice
We're
this is the big
so
question
many
mark, right?
steps before we got here.
Yeah, boy. So Bruce gets one more riddle to solve, right? Which is with 5 little items of an everyday sort, you'll find us all in a tennis court. Now, this was a riddle where I was like, what? This kind of hard, though. What is this?
What does this mean?
The answer is vowels. A-E-I-O-U. I was like, wow. I did not, I could not
I
figure
didn't
that
figure
out
that
at
one out
all.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, so he actually saved the best riddle for last, right? And then, as Ricardo said, we get the moment where they all try to put, the clues, the answers to the riddles together, and that's where they got to mystery or Mr. E. What's another word for mystery? Enigma. Enigma. I was like, oh, okay, right. And I was like, okay,
No, that's the
all right.
when I'm like, yeah, we're full on. No, that's when I'm like, yeah, we're full on 60s Batman puzzle solving skills now. Like
Yes,
this is yeah. Someone Russian is gonna slip on a banana peel and break their neck.
yeah,
Like yeah,
yeah.
that is the moment right there.
This is the moon logic moment I was mentioning earlier. Moon logic, total moon logic. They just decide to link things together, and it like what? You could connect it like this and that. What? And it's like, yeah, this is Black Dynamite. You know, remember that Black Dynamite scene? Same thing.
Yes.
Same bull. Total moon logic. I don't understand how somebody could logic their way out of that, but that's the script. So it's a Batman movie. Watching that.
Yeah, but as you know, as you said before, the Batmobile and other areas of the Batcave got blown up, right? Bruce actually still have a prototype suit left, and you also have the Bat plane and the Bat boat. It's like, okay, well, if Riddler wasn't on a tight schedule, he would have found those things and blown those up too. But hey, fortunately, he was on a little tight schedule. So whatever, right? And then I like how conveniently Dick now as Robin shows up. And even back then, I always dug the Robin suit. I think it's a cool suit. I actually love the R logo on his chest too. Like I love
Right.
how
Suit is
design of it.
definitely it's definitely from the, if you read the comics, it's the Tim Drake suit. It's not the Dick Grayson suit. But if you, so of all your Robins, if you line them up and you look at that suit, it's designed to look like the Tim Drake suit. But I agree with you. I think
Right.
that Robin suit was really well designed, except
Yeah.
for
Oh
the
yeah.
outside nipples, but everything else was.
Right.
Well, and I mean, hilarious. I love the hilarious implication that like, Alfred sees him do like again with the damn laundry kung fu. It is like, yep, time to start working on a new suit. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Like
the only timeline
he
that
just
makes
picked
sense.
up at one time. Like, okay, this guy is gonna be Bruce's partner, so let me prep for that.
If you start prepping.
Now it would have been a waste of time if Dick did not come back. Because yes, there's a moment where Bruce says he was going to give up being Batman, and Dick pretty much leaves, right? So it's kind of funny that Alfred
Alfred,
did make the suit for
meanwhile,
him.
is off to the side being like, no, I spent all that time on your suit.
Yeah.
Don't leave.
And as for Batman's prototype suit, right? Which, by the way, they do another montage, and this is where you see the man ass for the first time. In the franchise, you actually see that shot, right? Well, fortunately,
Thank
it's the
you,
first and only
Schumacher.
shot, first and only
Thank
shot of
you,
that, right?
Schumacher.
Yes. But
I appreciate it.
yeah, but here's the thing, the
Was
suit
there a
itself.
zipper on the butt? It looked like there was a zipper on the butt.
I think there
It
is.
does look. It's the side view of it and how it.
Like there is.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. Like for me, I always felt like that prototype suit looked like George Clooney's suit near the end of Batman Robin. where they were dealing with Arctic temperatures, so it has
Yeah,
this
it
kind
is.
of
It's more of a
design.
silver than black. It's more silverish than black.
Yeah, I was kind of like I saw the compare, like I was looking at the two suits and I finding they kind of look the same, though, you know what I mean, like that, right?
Yeah.
Robin's suit is so ridiculous because that cod piece, my gosh, that is the cod
Yeah.
piece that. Oh gosh.
I don't really think I wasn't really like
Long that
honestly I don't
does
really think about the cod piece way, but
when
yeah,
that man says, I was like, everybody. I remember people in the audience started cracking up at that. I remember that when I was a kid, because the red leads into the body, into the cut, so from the top, from the green legs, and I was like, whoa, enough.
yeah, that's true.
Like Batman's second suit. This suit is actually pretty cool. Um, I actually like the suit. That dark black it going straight down. Um, and then they did the thing in this that I really like. That I really was so upset. Again, one of the biggest complaints I had about Batman v Superman. It's probably the biggest complaint of all in that film, which is the fight between Batman and Superman sucked. Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And one of the big failures I wanted to see is, come on, we could have had Superman flying versus the Batwing. And in this case, here's the thing: the Batwing could have operated like a kind of like in the movie it operated like kind of like a jetish, but like a stealth bomber kind of thing. And in my opinion, I felt that you could have had something like a drone, like a small autonomous drone from within that's very small. So it's a mix between glider and jet. Have you ever seen like those tiny drone vehicles that could fit a single human being in it? Like it could have been right. And then one of the things it could have done is like say it could have gone completely dark and then cover itself in lead and hang up like a bat. And in this film, we got that. The Batwing in this hangs like a bat and opens out. I was like, all right, that looked fucking cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. The Batboat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Batboat, not so much, right?
Yeah,
Batboat still.
it's a Batboat. It's a Batboat, right?
Yeah, it looked too goofy. I hated the Batboat look. That could have felt a little smaller. Like again, if it was like more like a fast dinghy rather than a big power boat, I would have preferred that. Like to me, the whole point of Batman is stealth. Stealth. You have to look small. You have to look tiny. Only the Batmobile gets away with looking big and ridiculous, right? That's the only vehicle, but everything has to feel tiny. In Batman '89, the Batwing it felt small. It felt like a jet, but it didn't feel like a big jet.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true.
Right. It just had this one cool shot with the moon and you get a sense of perspective and these kind of things. But it never felt like a big jet. It just felt like a small jet still. And in this, we got that as well. I love what they did with the jet. That opening and you see the jet fold out and hanging because like Jim Carrey did. Jim Carrey's Riddler didn't decide to not like check the whole cave like a dumbass, whatever. Normal thing. But I love the Batwing in this movie, Joe.
Right.
It's so good.
Right. So basically, Robin goes. He picks the Batboat. Nice. Batman picks the Batplane. That was the moment where Batman pretty much reverts the bat signal from green back to the white and black. Like I thought that was cool. I just hearing Commissioner goes like, "Yeah, go get him," you know what I mean? And then of course you get the famous Batman approves, thumbs up, gif. Yeah, that's where it came from, folks. So you get that moment, and hearing the music, and how triumphant it sounds. Like yes, Batman is back, right? Let's move it quickly. So props to Batman forever for pretty much bringing back Battleship, Jet. Because with Two-Face and Riddler playing Battleship, so yeah, they just like blowing up like these mines and stuff. Yeah, I love, of course, it had to be Riddler saying, "You suck my battleship." I love that. It's so nice.
Jim Carrey says that line with his whole body. Like Jim Carrey, he's like saying it from his toes. You sunk my battleship. His whole damn self.
Yeah, boy. So unfortunately, the Batboat gets blown up. But Robin's okay, don't worry. But I think okay, well, Batman has a chance, and then Riddler has the mother box shoot a laser at the Batplane blowing it up. And I'm like, wow, boy. Wow. Wow. I thought it was just all, the minds them. It's like, no, I just have this little laser for situations like this, right? So,
Ladies and
boom.
gentlemen, this is where we're at.
Yep.
Yeah. But I
Here
do
we
like
are.
But I do like how the remains of the backplane turns into a bat sub, which is so James Bond. You know, what I mean, if you're familiar with Thunderball, the little fight scene that they have underwater with the
Right.
goop swimming and the net. That's Thunderball right there, Jen. I was like, word, okay. So now we get a great line for Riddler. Yes, Riddler have some great lines in this movie. This is
The real game begins.
something about the delivery of that line I just love, Jen. It's so campy, but I love it, right? Speaking of campy, so Batman and Robin arrive to the island though, and then Robin just see,
Holy rusted metal, Batman! Huh? You're grown, it's all metal, it's full of holes, you know? Holy!
And then like
I saw that.
that
I was
is
like,
the
oh
most.
my God, the reference in the 60s Batman.
I think everybody in cinema cringed at that point in time. Everybody.
I love how and like most people miss it, but like I love how self-aware that moment is because he does the holy rusted metal Batman, and then Batman
Yeah, but I was
turns like
like,
he's
what?
kind of
And like,
surprised,
huh?
and then Robin's like
Like the ground is
this
all metal. It's full of holes,
full of
Holy.
holes.
Like,
And I'm like, dude, 3 people in the audience got that reference, but I
Yep.
love you, especially
Yeah.
in the year 2020.
Right. So outside the lair now, Robin confronts Two-Face. He beats him actually, and the shot of Robin pretty much standing tall and looking down at him is kind of awesome, Dred. I love that shot, especially with the green light on him. Dude, it just looks so awesome, right? Robin, of course, he does the right thing. He saves Two-Face from falling to his death. Of course, Two-Face being who he is, turns to him, right? Um, and then we get, well, Batman's doing his thing. He's avoiding like a couple of death traps, basically. A pit with spikes and some spikes coming down at him. So he managed to work his way up, and then he reaches to, Riddler's elaborate, lair, basically, right? And then we get easily the most memorable line in the entire film.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
Yeah.
I kind of love that line.
that-
I kind of love
That scene
love
is absolutely iconic. That line is iconic. Although this is the point in the film when Carrie is wearing that silver suit, right?
Yeah. Which is like, okay, so to be honest, I prefer the green and black. The white and green with the glitter.
That is
Not so much.
See, I remember.
It doesn't feel like Riddler that much. It feels like, okay, this is Riddler. His mind is completely gone. Like, this is what it represents. But still, I prefer green and black. That's just me.
I really love this Riddler outfit. I think this is probably one of the better Riddler outfits as well. Because Riddler, that's kind of you could tell that, well, the mind thing starting to get to him finally. Deciding to melt down, but yet you have time to change. You have wardrobe change. And I really dug this outfit. It's my favorite. It's a cool moment in the movie as well, where you get to see great set design. That whole
It
red
is.
bat
It is. Yeah.
he just pops up in a kind of reverse trap door, and then you see the whole question mark things all over the place. I was like, yeah, I dig in this, and it felt like a great confrontation moment.
Right. No, definitely. I feel like this is definitely the point in the movie where the aesthetic is at its most obnoxious. Honestly,
Yes.
like this is the point in the movie when when aesthetically it's at its most obnoxious. Is that like because there's so much green, there's the flashing lights, there's the glitter. Riddler is doing this whole game show thing. It's like, oh, like
Yeah.
even if you've kind of
you could
acclimatized
tell
the
you could
aesthetic.
tell you could tell they pump a lot of cash into that one sequence. But
Oh yeah. Like even if you've acclimatized to the aesthetic by this point, even this scene is like oof.
yeah, boy, it's crazy, right? But as I say, the game show thing, yes, he does the whole behind curtain #1 and stuff, right? So it's pretty much Chase and Robin, tied up, And of course, just like, Sam Raimi Spider-Man is like, you have to choose one, right? I love the idea of Batman pretty much throwing a riddle at the Riddler. So what he says is, I see without seeing. To me, darkness is as clear as daylight. Duality. Haha, get it? Right? So I love when Riddler says, you're as blind as a bat. And it's, see what you want about Val Kilmer as Batman, but I just love his exactly. And then for the first and only time in the movie, you see the Batarang dread. It's only now when I watch, it's like, but all these shots of the Batarang.
That's
It's like
true.
the first time you see the Batarang in the movie.
hadn't thought of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy. I love the shot, the way you see
How,
it from
how
the.
do you have a Batman movie with only one Batarang?
Right?
That's not right.
Yeah, but I really do love the shot of the Batarang spinning and then it blows. Well, it hits the bottom box and blows up and stuff like that. Because, yeah, that was all over the marketing for this movie as well, right? So I really love that shot, right? And then essentially the machine sucks out Riddler's brain waves, which is kind of weird. So
No,
why
I
did
think
it suck
it
everybody out?
overwhelms him. I think what it does is it was too much information coming in. So, because if you look at his head afterward, it's all swollen and deformed. So I
Yeah.
think what was happening is that he was getting all this information in at the exact same time, and it just overwhelmed him.
Okay, so
Right.
he was getting info. Can I swear the
Yeah,
way
I
how
don't
his
think
head
it was,
looks,
because if you
it was
look at the
sucking
wave,
out of him.
it gets huge. So it's
No,
like
but
it's too much stuff coming in.
yeah, my take it was sucked out because afterwards he was kind of talking kind of gibberishy, like
Yeah.
talking like if he
Maybe,
lost
yeah,
his
maybe you're
mind.
right. Maybe it was actually sucking it out.
Well,
I'm
no,
not
I think
sure.
it was. I think it was I think it was an overwhelming of information that just like caused his mind to like shut
Yeah,
down. Think of
that's what I
like,
got from it too. But
well,
Okay, well,
like
maybe
think
it's
about
that. It's just the
think
show
about
doesn't really explain it.
think about like the Russian agent chick in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
yes,
like
yeah,
that kind of thing.
it
Yeah.
was too much.
Yeah.
Not to bring an inferior movie into the conversation.
All right, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, the pedantic, biology nerd in me is like, bats aren't blind. Stop that. Stop that to my.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
true. That's true.
No, yeah, it's a cool moment actually. Mostly because you're right. The first time they used the Batarang, I really dug that, and that whole again, great set design. That whole thing blow up and it go on thing, and again it overloads Riddler's systems because I think that thing's supposed to be the antenna to receive the information from the people's brains, and apparently again you have people's brains yet you care about credit card information. Stop it.
Yeah.
Mission. But yeah, I really dug this moment. It's a pretty kick-ass moment. It's a great scene. It's actually a pretty good action sequence for what it's worth, in my opinion. Well, especially the follow-up action sequence and what it leads to.
Right. We get a really cool scene where Batman jumps in and saves. Well, he saves Chase first and then Robin. I thought that was like a great moment. With all the flashing lights around him and all that kind of stuff was cool. Two-Face shows up right afterwards, and yeah. I don't know.
They just dropped down a tunnel. Is he Spider-Man? How did he get down there?
Yeah.
It's like that stuff
He's
drives me
Batman.
nuts.
See, he's not Batman. He's Batman.
Yeah,
Well,
Is he
obviously,
Deadpool?
like,
Is
use
he
an elevator
teleport?
or something is weird.
yeah, it could be an elevator, but I mean, oh gosh, man. Yeah, but and then Batman actually does a really, really clever thing. Now, I remember back then finding it clever. Today it still is, where he had all these coins, these fake coins, so he throws it up at the time when Two-Face does the coin flip there. So he gets confused, falls, and well dies, right? And then I love the last shot where his hand is protruding. I just see the coin goes on heads actually, right? I thought that was a really cool moment.
That is.
Yeah, and then afterwards you see the Riddler, who's pretty much doing this like like the Tinker, but he's all like
skipping over the
messed up.
fact that Batman murdered Two-Face. Just like straight up murdered Two-Face.
Batman does it.
Well, he didn't
But it's
murder him.
coin.
He gave him an opportunity
Like
to
he
murder
makes
himself.
no effort to like grapple him and grab
Well,
him or anything like that.
It's
And-
like it's like
and-
Disney logic, where like it's not killing them if you enable them to fall to their own death, right?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my fault that he slipped and fell, right?
Robin's face is almost has this anticlimactic kind of like, well, wah wah. I
Yeah.
guess I was supposed to do that, but okay, here we go.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris O'Donnell's acting, okay, he's like, just die, die, and you see him like real breathing hard and stuff, and then the music just really, really hyping that up to us. So whatever, it was what it was, right? But yeah, we get to Riddler, and he's all messed up. He's like, why can't I kill you, right? And the line that Batman deliver, I actually really do love.
I had to save them both. You see, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be. Now, because I choose to be.
It's kind of weird though, even though like I kind of understand it like visually,
Yeah, I guess
where
I think that
Riddler
came
gets
from the fact
bombarded.
that they left out so much stuff about him struggling with that whole Batman Bruce Wayne thing. So I feel like that was left over from that point.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but I actually do like, although like visually it works, but thematically it's like why or how, where Riddler seems to be tormented by the image of the flying bat coming towards him. You know what I mean? I just love
Yeah.
how it just kind of cuts instantly to him in Arkham Asylum, which is probably the most gothic building still ever in Gotham City, despite the new look that we get to this movie here. Though.
It looks like goddamn Hogwarts.
I know, right?
It looks like Hogwarts from like the third Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, it does. And I just like even like I'll never forget the first time I saw this. Right, this is where Chase goes in to meet Edward. Right, 'cause he's not Neural anymore, and it's like, well, he's been howling like mad. He knows the true identity of Batman. And then I was like, oh my god, is he really gonna tell Chase who he is, who Batman is, right? So yeah, you have this great little build up is like, you forgot to say please or whatever it is, right? And then he comes like, I am Batman. Back then, I was that moment actually surprised me. Today is like, yeah, it's still a great moment. I like it. Not shocking or anything like that, but is the perfect end to Edward's arc, in my opinion. Where yes, he completely loses his mind. He's not the smartest man anymore, and yeah, he pretty much know who Batman is, but he's so out of it doesn't even matter anymore. I love that.
I was okay, so I saw a certain name at the beginning of the movie, and I started to be when we were watching the film. I was eagle-eyed looking for him. So it's like, hey, where he is, and it's like, it's Rene Auberjonois, Odo of Star Trek DS9's fame, right?
Oh, that's where you're from. Okay, because I noticed the name, but I was like, I should know this person now.
Yeah. I was like, hey, look at it. And I actually like this little sequence at the end. It's a little short sequence. I forgot if he was in the other movies or if he was in Batman and Robin. I can't remember. I have to look it up.
I don't think so, to be honest. Jesse Ventura was there for some odd reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but yeah, he had a little moment, little quick scene. It's short, not bad. And I enjoyed it. Just him and Chase just talking shit. And then they meet Riddler. Riddler has a complete psychotic break, which it's a funny bit, I suppose, because they sell it out, they make it out as if, well, he knows Batman's secret, because we know that he knows Batman's secret, but he knows everyone's secrets and it overloads his brain. So tough.
And I feel like in his mind, now that he's tormented by the images of the giant bat, that makes him Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in his mind. Which is hilarious.
And then, apparently Chase Meridian knows Batman's secret now. And then, in Batman and Robin, did we make any mention of her? I'm not going to rewatch Batman and Robin to check. So,
she was not referenced at all in that movie.
Yeah, right, so we have to died off camera, right?
Recently, not one reference.
Right, so she died off camera, right? Batman had her secretly murdered, right? So, I didn't get like what the point of trying to make that the big secret identity thing. I felt okay. This is bad. This is me with my shitty script writing and rewrite stuff. But I felt they could have probably figured out a way to do the Superman 2 thing and have it where because something happened with Riddler, some shockwave or some side effect thing, and then she forgets. I would have preferred that. Right, so she loses any working memory of her knowing that Batman is Batman. Right, but whatever. It don't matter. And sorry to say, but Chris Nolan is one thing Chris Nolan got right, that if you're doing the whole secret identity thing, have it be like a plausible, aspect of deniability, and a certain amount of people that know, like in like the finance guy from the second film, that dude, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So last couple of scenes before the movie ends, right? So outside Arkham, Bruce and Chase have the final scene. Of course, they have this passionate kiss. Alfred's smile is priceless. I love it. He's just like, my young Padawan, you did it. Alfred, the MVP.
Alfred has spent this entire series trying to hook Bruce up with someone, and it keeps not working.
Yep.
Yeah. And, in
First
retrospect,
movie
I'm
it
wondering
was-
why he didn't stick with Chase. Because, in the next movie, we have, what's her face, right? Who only shows up for like 5
We
minutes.
have forgettable woman.
Yeah.
We have the amazing forgettable woman. But like,
Yeah, and then Chase actually gives a great final line. Don't work too late. It kind of reminds me of Go Get Him Tiger from Spider-Man
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
Like, I love that,
right.
right? And then the final shot, which back then I loved.
Oh, I
Loved the hell out of
still
it.
love that
And still
shot.
to this day, I get chills when I hear the music. And just the silhouette of Batman running towards the camera. I love that.
There's a great big spotlight. They're running towards these silhouettes. Their capes are billowing. It's the most comic book of the entire movie. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. It's just such a great way to end the movie.
More movies need that, by the way. Like, I'm so tired of this, we're just going to end on some badass, hard cut to black bullshit. Nope. Have a big old celebratory, weird ending where you have two characters.
Right.
Love it. Another thing is that, all right, so this is something I didn't mention earlier too, is that we need more songs in movies. Like, when's the last time we had a good song for a movie?
Thank you.
Recently.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Songs, two things. One, only two movies I can take off the top of my head. Venom, which is a bad example.
Yes.
And
Adrenaline, get 'em, Venom.
and Black Panther had this kick-ass soundtrack on its own. That song with SZA. The song with to me, I still rock the song with Future in a minute. Love it.
Of
So
course, of course.
Why does we don't have more songs for movies kind of thing? Like the last big one was what, Spider-Man 1? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
on.
also, Into the Spider-Verse had a kick-ass soundtrack.
Right, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, forget about that.
Right. Speaking of that, we get the two big songs that help promote the movie. That will be U2, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, which is still a dope ass song.
I love
Actually
that
dug the
song,
video
yeah.
for it, the animated video for it. And then, of course, the wedding song of all wedding songs. Shout out to Terrence and Narisha Sabdeen, because, great friends of mine. But I'll never forget when I attended their wedding. Terrence came into this song here, Seal's Kiss from a Rose. That song is timeless, even though lyrically is what I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. I don't know what that means, but I love it.
The lyrics make no goddamn sense, but like it's more about the impression of it.
Yeah.
It sounds
Did you
great.
know
but
that
the
when it
lyrics make-
snows, my eyes become light and the light that you shine can't be seen? I don't know what it means, but
Kiss
it's
from a
so
rose
dope.
on the gray. The more I get of you, the stranger it feels. What is going on? But
I
no,
don't
you're just
know.
well. No. It's Seal, right? It's Seal's voice that sells the song, really.
And the
Like,
music is
he could-
something to
so
feel.
great.
So.
Yeah.
Like
And this-
Seal could sing you like the McDonald's theme song, and you'd want to play it at your wedding. Like, I'm loving it.
yeah.
I'm loving
I-
you.
Again, we have more songs, something. Yeah, Kiss from a Rose. No, I will admit, me in the 90s was trash, right? Right? Ricardo in the 90s was trash because Ricardo was a boy in the 90s. So he had anything that cater to women or have to cater to romance has to be the worst thing ever. And I need to virtue signal that's the worst thing to ever, right? To ever.
Right.
So Seal, Kiss from the Rose, me liking that song is bullshit. I hated it at the time because it's this big song for chicks. It's a chick song. Hate it.
Yeah.
And but the song is total fire though. Like, I admit that. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'll admit the only reason I like it as much as I do is because goddamn AVM literally burned that into your skull. Like
Yeah,
you
that
hear that
music
too
video
much time.
was all over
You hear
AVM.
it all the time. You hear it all the time on the radio. I mean, again, a good song will hype a good movie. So to me, we need to bring back movies, bring back songs for movies to make sure you know the movie coming out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Also,
exactly.
if you haven't, Seal did an album of him covering old crooner hits. I don't know if anyone else checked that out. It was a couple years back. It's so good. Where it's like things like "I Got You Under My Skin," and like
I'd love to
other
hear
like.
his rendition of that. I'd love to hear
Oh,
that.
it's so good. It's so good. Like that voice, goddamn. And the music
Yeah.
video is, of course, also directed by Schumacher because it's got clips from the movie,
Yes.
but most of it is like Seal on top of this building with the bat signal in the background
Yeah,
and like the
it'll
wind
be the
blowing, and he's wearing
the
this like
wind and stuff like that.
open silky
Yeah,
shirt and everything. No, I love it.
Everybody remembers the silky shoot that he had on for real.
No,
And
honestly,
this,
again, this is how you know Joel Schumacher directed the music video. Like,
and lastly, I just want to say about the music video. I just love that all the shots that they use in the film, even right down to the closing shot of Batman and Robin in silhouette, were in the video, and that shot with them in the silhouette ends the video too. I'm like,
it's so no, I love it. I actually I said this. I think it was on. I was somewhere online earlier. I was like, can we go back to having Batman movies with kick-ass soundtracks?
Yeah,
because like we've
like I mean, I love Hans Zimmer to death dread, but you know, with the Nolan trilogy. But oh gosh, give me a little pop song to sell the movie too, though.
Right. No, I mean, and like I feel like again, the first film set the bar with Prince, and then and you get all this other, and like, yeah, admittedly, Batman and Robin soundtrack misses the landing, but all the other ones are still really solid albums. And I don't know, like, and now that we've had 5 super serious grimdark Batman movies, and Matt Reeves has kind of teased that he will be drawing a little inspiration from the 60s show and maybe in some of these earlier Batman films for his movie. Can we, like, come on, some kind of, like, even if it's just like one kind of James Bond-esque theme song, just give us something, please.
Something, just bring back a sense of, okay, like, this show is going to be a lot bigger than you expect. Like, this show is going to dominate not just the box office but the Billboard charts too.
Oh yeah, don't make me have to like make my own like fan music video of like Pattinson's Batman set to like Billie Eilish's No Time to Die. Like, I will do that if need be.
But as I bring up that, well, with the latest Bond films having these really dark and sort of depressing songs, maybe that might be the trend going forward if they decide to have a song for the upcoming Batman films. I don't know.
I hope
we'll see.
so. And since Reeves is doing an entire trilogy, I think that like 3 songs, different artists, each one is like a main theme for these movies would be like so cool. Like, just like get music videos, you play them, and like you remember back when we sold superhero movies with music videos?
Yeah.
Like, anyone else remember this trend? Like, this was a whole thing for a while. Like, Prince had that kick-ass series of music videos for the first Batman. The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. Oh my God, Chef's Kiss, one of my. No, seriously. The Shadow is one of my favorite superhero movies of all goddamn time. It's a masterpiece. And Taylor Dane's Original Sin is a bomb-ass track to go with it. And the music video for it is flames. It plays over the credits so well. And there was this whole trend for a while. Especially since like superhero movies have finally gotten back to music thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy. But no, give me, I mean, okay, maybe Aquaman tried with like Pitbull's Africa, but come on.
Hated that. Everything about the movie was fun, but that song, I hate that.
I honestly adore Aquaman, except that song feels, I'm like, why? Like
it sticks out. What? It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah.
It does. All right, so last thoughts and rating on Batman Forever, right? So let's just move a little quickly. So in essence, right, in retrospect, I felt that Batman Forever should have been a very, very soft reboot trend, because just the transition from Tim Burton dark and gothic to bright and flashy Joel Schumacher, it was, I can imagine for for fans of the first two movies, it was like too much. It was like system overload and whatnot, right? And of course, with the sci-fi angle that I brought up before, right? So I compared more like you see, like how we had the Timothy Dalton Bond films, right? Living Daylights
Chef's
and License to
kiss.
Kill, right? Yes.
Chef's
I know.
kiss.
Yes. And then you had that transition into Pierce Brosnan's Bond, right? But if you
Face
compare
palm.
both Bonds, they're pretty much different, right? Yes, they have the same edginess, but it was Bond for the 90s. It was like a nice reboot, and it was like Bond in a way you never saw it before. And I felt like the studio itself should have done that. I know there was like a 3 year gap between films, but I felt that if they kind of did a nice little transition, like, okay, this is not the Batman that we know for the first two films, it's something else. Let's see it like do a spin-off, like say like a Batman Beyond or whatever it is. But kind of justify the fact why we're seeing this here with this movie as opposed to the sort of dark noirish vibe of the first two films, right? So I think with that now, people would have really gravitated to the film even more. Because, yeah, if you look at some reviews now, people will be like, yeah, I don't really like the show so much. It's not like the first two movies but that's the point. It was supposed to be like two films, right? Regardless of all that, I still have I still have two Tim Burton's films up there as amongst the best Batman films ever, right? I love them, especially Batman Returns. I'm more of a Batman Returns fan than the first Batman, but that's just me, right?
Right.
And of course, I love the Nolan trilogy to death, even Dark Knight Rises, which yes is flawed, but I love it, right? But
I'm
as far
judging
as
you so hard.
but as far as Batman Forever, though, I will admit it is the most fun Batman movie in all the Batman movies we've gotten thus far. It is a guilty pleasure of mine. I remember enjoying it when I was as a kid, and even when I watch it now, and I spot flaws, like with the acting and with the dialogue and the narrative. I just love the flashiness. I love how grandiose it is, how over the top it is, right? It does really feel like a circus like you're watching here. I mean, it's just Joel Schumacher and his team just doing whatever they can to just entertain you. And yes, say what you want, but this is an entertaining film from start to end. The music is appropriately over the top and loud and bombastic. Performances appropriate as well too. Val Kilmer might be the best, Batman, but I like the fact that they played around with the whole duality thing, which will show up later on with, which like the Nolan films can explore even further, right? And it was to me, it's just the height of mid-90s summer blockbuster popcorn entertainment. Right? It's like, yes, this is how you get butts in seats. Right? You take a character and you just put a nice, glossy sheen over him, Dread, and put all these flashy visuals and music and all that kind of stuff and make it work. So yeah, I mean, as far as rating wise, though, as it is a guilty pleasure for me, I'm giving this a decent, strong 4 to 5. Man, this is a kind of movie I could just enjoy, smile, laugh at its goofy and silliness and whatnot, but still get the Batman elements that that I love about the character, right? That still holds up to me. It's far from the best Batman movie out there. Let's get that out the way. It's not, but it is by far the most entertaining one I've seen, right? People will look at it now and be like, no, it's too much. Joel did too much. But to me, it's like, look, this is what I want to do, what the task I was given, and this is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to entertain the hell out of you for 2 hours. I felt that Joel did that excellently, in my opinion. So yeah, as far as a guilty pleasure movie goes, I can't stress it enough. Yeah, decent to a strong 4 to 5, man. Summer, last words of rating on Batman Forever.
It's one of those movies for me where it in rewatching it, it doesn't hold up for me. I don't feel the fondness for it that I felt when I initially saw it, but I don't hate it. Like I said, there's some stuff there visually that I absolutely love because it's just like a comic book comes to life. The I can appreciate the fact that Val Kilmer does make for a pretty likable and decent Bruce Wayne. Um, but to say like this feels to me like a sci-fi movie of the week in rewatching it. It
Yeah,
just
yeah, you're right.
it,
You're right. It
to,
does.
it just has that very hokey feel to it. I would take the 66 Batman if that's what I wanted. For me, this movie, what it was trying to do was take elements of Burton's world and put it into that 66 Adam West. And those two things do not go together. That is oil and water right there.
Mm.
So I I feel like if like it's weird to even say this out loud, but I enjoyed Batman and Robin more in rewatching it because of the fact that that movie is just so over the top ridiculous for what it
Yeah.
is. And I know it's stupid and I know exactly what it's trying to be. And I think that it succeeds at what it's trying to be. Whereas this movie, for me, is trying to walk that line of light and dark. And
Okay, I got you.
you just have to choose one. That said, like I said, I don't absolutely hate this movie. It's just not as Batman movies go. I will always stand by Burton's movies as my favorite,
Mhm.
even over
Nolan.
Nolan movies.
All
I
right.
love
Thank
Cool.
those
you.
two.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool. Teach us own.
yeah, Batman and Batman Returns are my platinum members, and everything else falls after.
All right, all right.
So yeah, I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. It has
Okay.
some good stuff in there, but overall the characters to me, I love the animated version of these characters so much that I keep comparing them to what I got here, which is basically Joker in two different forms. It's not the
Yes.
Riddler, it's not Two-Face, and I can't really forgive the film that. And also that man Robin, I don't know what that is. but but I am a fan of the costume designs. I do love the set pieces, and the soundtrack was fantastic. So five
Hmm.
out of 10 for me.
All right. Julian, last words and rating on sorry, on Batman Forever.
Yeah, like Summer, I'm a huge Burton fan. My favorite Batman movie of all time is sorry, Batman 1989. One thing I think we didn't get too much into is the action, and I think only that 1989 movie delivered the Batman action for me. The action kind of took a downturn from starting with Returns, and I find the action was a big letdown in this one, and I mean it's a waste of time in Batman and Robin. And even in the Nolan movies, I don't like his kind of how he shoots the action and stuff. It doesn't really work for me. So yeah, that's a kind of a downturn for this movie. Like someone said, I like the visual style of it. I like Jim Carrey in it, even though he's not, Riddler, but I like his interpretation of, of that character. Where he seems to be having a lot of fun. But yeah, I really was watching this movie and I was just like, yeah, I was very mad. It really didn't move me. I really felt nothing with it. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to watch this movie for another probably 25 years. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So for my rating, a little more generous than some. I give it a 6 out of 10. As I said, I like the visual style of it. I like Val Kilmer in it. I like Jim Carrey, but yeah, everything else is pretty much kind of a letdown for me.
All right, cool. CC, last words and rating on Batman Forever.
So bearing in mind that I am not a Batman fan,
Uh-huh.
which is I feel like important context, but
Yes, yes.
I love this movie. Like as I said, the first time I saw this first time I saw this 4-film series, I was meh on them. But then I mean, I'm the superhero genre is one of my all-time favorites, and I have seen almost every superhero movie almost ever made. I have seen like so many.
Wow.
And the thing
I envy you right now. I envy you.
well, see, it is envy, but also a curse because I have seen so much grim, dark nonsense, like so much gritty reboot crap of this, that, and the other. And I'm sorry, but we live in a world with like Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, the Wolverine, Catwoman, Elektra. Like we live in a
Yeah.
world where there's just and then we get the Nolan films, which we can debate the quality of, but then we immediately get the Snyder movies and Man of Steel. Like you just get these joyless experiences.
Mhm.
Like you just get so like and I love this genre. I love comic books. I like and comic book movies got me into comic books, and I've been reading more. And I'm getting at the point where I need a third long box because my collection just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And the thing I keep coming back to is I like the big, like I love a movie that I love a big, colorful, fun comic book movie. I prefer the ones that can balance that with like pathos as well. So, I mean, I always hold most of the MCU as a great example of how you balance the two. But for me, having seen so much of the grimdark nonsense, you come back to Batman Forever, and it really is the 60. It feels like an adaptation of the 60s series getting like the big splashy 90s blockbuster treatment, and I love that. It's a lot of fun. I mean, for me, it's like an 8 out of 10. A 7 out of 10 for me is a watch once, never want to see again. An 8 out of 10 is okay. This has serious problems, but goddamn, is this a fun time? And Batman Forever is a big 8 out of 10 for me. Like it's fun, it's colorful, it has I will maintain it has its own internal logic. The aesthetic is fun. Schumacher's entire like art, like I love him as a director. Like I love the man as a director. And his artistic sensibilities heighten the quality of this movie so much, and it gives it so much personality. And I love it for that. And it's a movie I revisit, and it's one that it was an absolute rewatching. It was an absolute blast. I maintain that Burton's first film is like, it is the best. I think it's the best live action Batman. Like for me, that one's a 10 out of 10. It's like one of my top comic book movies of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
Top 10. But and so obviously Forever is not in that same league. But it's more akin to Returns, which is darker, but I have some structural problems with it, and Batman and Robin, which commits so much to the ridiculous that like it's at times a little difficult to sit through, and you can never take it seriously, and you're laughing at both the stuff they want you to laugh at and these unintentionally ridiculous moments. And like Forever, I mean, in Forever, I appreciate some of the attempts at drama in Forever. I think that it suffers from having some of that stuff on the cutting room floor, but I think that overall, it makes it like, it's definitely a movie that like it's rewatchable. It's not one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, but it occupies It occupies a nice kind of middle ground, like stuff like Wes Craven's Swamp Thing, where it's like, this could have been so much better, but this is pretty good, that kind of thing, which I like.
Right. I got you. All right. Last but not least, final thoughts and rating on Batman Forever.
Yeah. There's a film. So there's a film. Ultimately, I remember as a kid, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Mostly because Jim Carrey was a big hype for the whole thing, and you just enjoy. It can't be as dark as the previous Batman movies, but it works still. I'll say rewatching it. I remember enjoying. Yeah, just rewatching the other day. I don't know. I was enjoying the first hour of it. I actually legit enjoyed the first hour of it. Then the second hour just kind of dragged a little bit for me. The final action sequence is okay. The final confrontation, especially that whole back and forth bit with Two-Face and Riddler battleship, I was loving that stuff. But again, they should have still played Two-Face a little more seriously. But whatever, I was still finding it funny with Tommy Lee Jones. And I'll say really the only real flaw in the film was Two-Face. I really didn't like what they did with him. I felt if they could have just rehauled what they did with him and just have the film flow a little different. He just felt like a side villain. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, Riddler was clearly the main villain of this, which don't make any sense. Like, sorry. Like, I like Riddler as a villain, but he was never a main villain in any books to say, other than, of course, Hush, right? Which I hate. I hate Hush.
Yeah,
Hush,
I wasn't a big fan of Batman Hush neither.
No, but Hush as a story starts very good. Mm-hmm. And then when Riddler, it's revealed that Riddler is a big part of that, is like, that is when it fell apart. Because Riddler is not a big, like, to me, he's never a big Batman antagonist to me. I know it have a lot of Batman fans disagree with me, but for me, Riddler was never that person. Because Riddler not close to Batman. That is the most important point. The reason a character have to get under Batman's skin, right? Riddler was just like academic, if for lack of a better word. He never gets under Batman's skin, right? Joker gets under Batman's skin. Ra's al Ghul gets under Batman's skin. Two-Face gets under Batman's skin. Riddler, not so much. And so to have Riddler so centered to this didn't really work or make sense to me, even as a kid, because again, Paul Dini and Bruce Timm.
Paul Dini and Bruce Timm poised do well for you.
Yeah, Poisoning Well. So, once they set up a paradigm, you had to kind of follow that paradigm of how the character should be. And back in the 90s, I didn't read that many comics to know one way or the other. So ultimately, I don't know. I give this like a 6 out of 10. I don't hate it. The second half doesn't work. Chase Meridian is ridiculous. She's a completely ridiculous character. Sorry. And I'll say another big mistake was probably the Robin and how they handled that as well. Now, it is tolerable in this film, and it's only the Batman and Robin dies when it becomes a serious problem. But yeah, Chris O'Donnell completely ruined his career with these pair of movies. You can't do 2 different Batman movies with 2 different Batman, brother. The man's career completely tanked after this. Holy shit. But after Batman and Robin, that was it. And I thought he was a promising young star, but I can't remember anything big or noteworthy after this until NCIS. Like, if you could tell me that Chris O'Donnell was in some movie and he was a boss in it, all right, tell me. But I don't remember it at all. So that's about it. To this end off, I'll say, Val Kilmer is I can't say I liked him as Batman so much, but he was a solid Bruce Wayne. Pretty solid Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I would agree. I totally agree.
You got a good sense of personality. I actually liked him more than Keaton as Bruce Wayne. He's stoic.
Okay. A lot of people actually fight you for that, huh?
No, Keaton as Bruce Wayne. Keaton as Bruce Wayne, not necessarily Batman. Because I say right. I really like Keaton as Bruce Wayne. I don't like Keaton as Bruce Wayne all that much. Like, Keaton have moments and he have a lot of smoldering shadow stuff, and it has more to do with director. But there's on-screen presence. In some ways I prefer Val Kilmer overall. He had a better look. You get the quote-unquote handsomeness of it, because Michael Keaton's a short dude. That is one of the big problems with Michael Keaton. Val Kilmer had better screen presence overall.
And I would say though, like, as far as the whole theme of duality, I just felt like, just his screen presence alone, like, just kind of sums that up. You know what I mean? There's conflict instead of him.
It's interest. I would have liked to see. Okay, so I'm of the, because I'm a kid of the 90s. I'm a millennial. Everything have to be all. You'd always want to see the dark and edgy version of this, and I would have liked to see if Val Kilmer could get another crack at it. Well, Val Kilmer can't get another crack at it now because, sorry to say, what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
But right. I would have liked to see that alternate universe if, we could have gotten to see, I just want to see it. What a Nolanized Val Kilmer would have been like, right? Maybe. Or
even something like Val Kilmer as like older Batman in like a Batman Beyond movie, like people keep petitioning with.
Or something like that, right? Yeah, right. Or even a Nolanized Jim Carrey as Riddler. Like, Jim Carrey have his moments in acting. You have some dark roles. So what that could have looked like, maybe, right? I made the joke a long time ago that Jim Carrey could totally come back as Riddler now in a darker setting, right? Kind of hard to happen because we know what happened with Snyder. But I remember back in 2013, 14, I was like, Snyder could probably dig back Jim Carrey and see what happens there. I want to see that. Like, again, it won't happen, but it's just speculation. And yeah, ultimately, there's a film I do defend. I have no problem defending it in retrospect, because the Nolan films ultimately didn't really like pan out the way they could have. And I think a lot of them, the Nolan trilogy doesn't hold up as well. Like the first film, Batman Begins, I don't like as much. I love Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises is a mess for me. And then Snyder.
Each his own.
And then Snyder, Snyder to me, look, I like Snyder, but yeah, I admit it, his movies just completely shot the bed and they had to rehaul. And, in the end of the day, these first 4 movies have been kind of validated and vindicated. And, that is it. But yeah, 6 out of 10, it's a Batman movie. It worked. I liked it.
Right. Cool.
Right.
So yes, folks, that's our take on, Batman Forever. Came out 25 years ago. Will it last 25 years later? Well, we'll see. But till then, that's pretty much it. Yeah, imagine watching this 50 years from now.
Like when it hits its 50th anniversary, what even is the trend going to be? Like, who knows? Maybe Westerns will be back.
I would love to see Westerns come back there, but we'll see. We'll see in due course. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever this is. This was Matthew Bailey. Julian as well. Thanks for coming through. CC, thanks for coming through. Some, of course, thanks for coming through. Ricardo, thanks so much for your contribution to this discussion here. And yeah, this was another episode of Retrospect Reviews. So until the next one, take care, peace, Batman forever, ever.
And ever.
You'll see.
And
Yeah,
ever.
Forever.
And ever. And ever.
Yeah. Peace.